Hey, oozes and bunnies. This is a preview of the most recent Party Planning, an extra podcast that the Join the Party crew makes for our Patreon. If you want to listen to the whole thing, go to patreon.com/jointhepartypod. Check out this preview.
Hello. Once again, it is I, Oneshot McGarry, bringing you a one-shot for the One-Shot Derby 2. We're behind the paywall, folks, so get ready to hear a lot about my dating life, a lot about my bowel movements, and probably a lot less editing because everyone knows that behind the paywall, you guys have already paid, so I have to put a lot less effort into what it is that you're viewing in the sort of name of like intimacy and getting to see, you know, what it's really like. And what it's really like today is the true crime podcast game.
Yay! Oh, does this mean we get to kill Oneshot McGarry at some point today, maybe?
She is an NPC, so...
Oneshot will live on no matter what happens to my physical form.
I was thinking, I didn't want this to happen, but it's like a clue could be an NPC dies, especially for what we're doing.
It's very true. Eric, what are we doing here today? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the One Shot Derby 2.
Amanda, you're back. Hello.
Yay.
We are playing the second half of True Crime Podcast Game, a game by me that I wrote. Thanks to all the new patrons.
50.
Did we hit the goal? Where we are going to play this. So now we have two. Now we have two one-shot derby things that we're doing. So I only think about superhero proper nouns now. I don't even know what we're talking about.
A two-shot derby, perhaps, even.
Wow.
Whoa.
Very cool.
Wow.
Julie, if it's not the Blaster Codex, I don't give a shit about what it means
enough.
right now. So we did the character creation of True Crime Podcast Game, and we're going to review that. And now we're actually going to play the game, which we didn't end up doing on the main feed.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Let's all start by reviewing each of our characters. Remember, we're each going to be playing one main character and one NPC. The title of the true crime show that we made is Killin' Time with Big Cat.
Yeah.
And the tagline is Only Cats Have 9 Lives.
What a good tagline.
So good. So good.
We have a fame complication that we rolled on the fame table, and you're so famous, but we all care about something else more than the show. So each of us are going to have an occupation or a hobby that we're actually going to probably talk about so much more than actually making the podcast. Of course, death is lying around every corner. The death that we chose was that someone was lying and will do anything to keep that lie. We invented that person. That is Zooey, who is the social media person for the show. Zooey, as in Franny and Zooey. She says she's the child of the famed murderer, serial killer, the Golden Hour Strangler.
And has done some fucked up shit to make that lie sort of plausible.
Pawn Stars heavily involved. So now, we're going to play that out. So let's do it in the order as I think we did at the end of the show for our drafting order. We're going to go Julia, Brandon, Eric, Amanda.
Yeah, I'm playing Bex Bennett, who's the researcher for Killin' Time with Big Cat. She is the female one because one time during an argument, she was like, yeah, the serial killer is hot. And like everyone freaked out about that.
After being asked.
Yes, after being asked. One of the valid criticisms on Reddit about her is that she should be on the microphone more often, which I agree with as the person playing Bex Bennett. And the thing that she cares more about the show is she's trying to pitch a very serious journalism podcast, even though she never went to journalism school.
Classic.
I'm also playing a NPC, which is Diego, who is the hot Australian boyfriend of Zooey, who can only say nar or yar.
This is the campaign 3 crossover that we need of pirate words in an Australian accent in the One Shot Derby 2.
There we go.
My character is Double T. What is it? What did I write, guys?
Double J
Hawkins.
Yeah, Brandon.
Because he be talking.
Yeah.
Double J Hawkins. He's the producer. He's scary because he talks about grisly shit all the time, like unnecessarily grisly, in inappropriate times. And he hates Charlie, who
That's
we will
the
meet.
the valid Reddit criticism.
Valid Reddit criticism is he hates Charlie, which we will see why. Everyone will agree with me. And then finally, I have a rap career. That's what I'm trying to get everyone to subscribe to my SoundCloud, you know?
Now, Brandon, we didn't say this, but is it safe to assume that Devil J. Talkins is a white rapper, which just like adds some flavor just to our mental picture?
Yeah.
Played by Brandon Grugel? Yeah.
I reviewed the transcript about this, and I asked you who your inspiration was. And in the transcript, it says, Brandon takes a 10-second pause.
I thought it was, I don't know, Tupac after the 10-second pause.
Which was better. It was better.
Folks, if you have not availed yourselves of the transcripts, Julia does an excellent job. So just go ahead and look for those flavies. We want everyone to have the same experience, whether you are listening or reading. And that's an important note.
I try my best.
And finally, my NPC that I am controlling is Zooey's mom, the Honorable Maria Menounos.
No relation.
Which I remembered when I read it, and it was the funniest thing that I've ever done in my entire life, and it was great.
Yeah. And she, importantly, has never met, nor dated, nor sired the child of the Golden Hour Strangler.
Correct.
Yeah.
Not one.
At least not according to Zooey, but yes. But according to the law, which the Honorable Maria Menounos takes very seriously.
Judge Maria Menounos, yes.
Judge.
I'm the host of Talk Killing Time with Big Cat. I'm Big Cat. I have cats, which is why I call myself Big Cat. The thing, the valid Reddit criticism about me is that I over prepare if I think Bex is going to do a bad job. I read different books than she does, and it's rude. The thing I do is I actually do care about the show, but I end up doing rich person stuff at the same time, which is that I collect rare books by dictators, and then I collect the books by the ghostwriters of the dictators.
Jesus Christ.
And then my NPC is Billy, who is a casting agent at A&E, who is constantly trying to get Zooey to come back to Pawn Stars. Zooey's like evidence that she's the child of the Golden Hour Strangler is that she has letters from him to her mom. And she like worked with she was like a helper for incarcerated people and got someone to write these letters, and then she tea-stained them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Fucked up.
And then brought them to Pawn Stars, and they were validated.
Honestly, more of a condemnation of Pawn Stars,
credibility,
validation process than anything else.
Well, because I remember because I had just watched that like expose is too strong a word, but there was someone who did sort of scam Pawn Stars about I think it was a video game maybe, but they called in an expert that they hadn't had in before because they didn't have that item before, and the expert was just like a Confederate who told them that it was like really rare and exciting.
A video game, but also a Confederate. Like
he was also fighting for the South, like, Julia.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were saying, Brandon. I was like, why would they bring a Confederate in to evaluate a video game?
The word Confederate has more than one meaning.
I know.
He's a Civil War reenactor and also loves the Atari Jaguar.
That's what I thought we were talking about.
Exactly. He was like, that is an authentic Atari game and heritage not hate. Everyone was like, that's a weird thing to say on Pawn Stars.
Brandon, use Comrade. That's not loaded at all either.
And Amanda, who you playing?
I am playing Charlie Crockins, who is the off-mic friend. He is only around because it's his detached garage that we are actually recording the podcast in.
I forgot about that.
Yes. The valid criticism on Reddit is that Charlie is definitely dodging his income taxes because he just bought a boat at a police auction that was used in like a mob-style killing. And the garage is filled with his lizards, which he cares a lot more about than anything on the podcast. And he is off-mic. He will still contribute, and they're like, Charlie, do you want a mic? And the answer is always no. He's just kind of lurking on the back on a couch. And my NPC, of course, Oneshot McGarry, who I think we sort of landed on might be like the outside podcaster that Bex is pitching, or Oneshot is trying to poach Bex to do like a, dumb girl snorting coke sort of true crime podcast.
I think Oneshot has, we've already established that Oneshot has a true crime podcast, and then, she's definitely the one who's going to hopefully back Bex's journalism show.
I learned from Tumblr Incarnate, Lauren Chippen, earlier that apparently there are people on like Instagram and TikTok and stuff who are making fake podcasts by just like sitting, like filming a clip of two people sitting and talking to each other for like a minute and a half, but the podcast doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what Sunjoke McGarry does. Like, just
It's a fake
makes
podcast.
a minute and a half. Oh, then I told Lauren, no, that's just a podcast. That's just, you made a minute and a half long podcast. That's what you did.
Yeah, you made only the clip. You went clip outwards. All right, folks, you want to play the game?
Let's play the game.
Let's play.
Okay. So here's how the game works. I have also sent out this game to every single patron. You should find the link there. I also updated the rules for all of you, so you guys can follow along at home if that's something you want to do.
Wahoo!
Here's the game loop. As a podcast, you can solve the mystery of your death and become even more successful. Maybe you'll get a Netflix limited series about you.
That'd be great.
As a team, you need twice as many successes as the number of players to solve the mystery of your death. You'll keep track of that on the group success counter, which is on the bottom page. However, your failures are your own burdens to bear as death tries to separate you. I've changed it so now we have a group pool, but every third failure, someone dies.
Okay. So it's not personal failures anymore. It's joint group failures every 3.
But you will fail. You will personally fail. We're just going to keep track of it as on the group page instead.
Gotcha.
Maybe I'll just take out the character sheet, honestly, but we'll see. So here's how the game loop works. First, you roll the dice. You just need 2d6, just these little dudes. You're going to either succeed and find a clue or fail and escalate death. We're just going to keep going around in the order that we drafted. Then if someone dies, we have some information there. And then when there's only one person left or we have enough successes, then we figure out the end of the game.
Nice.
Sick.
So starting with the player who drafted first, you're going to roll 2d6 to investigate your death. An 8 or more is a success, a 6 or less is a failure, and 7 is dread. We are all going to describe how death is lurking around you, and then you have to roll again.
Okay.
Cool.
I got a 10.
10.
Hey.
6 plus 4.
Good job.
Yay.
Bex, you succeeded. You found a clue. Your investigation into this thing wanting to kill you has become great podcast content, so talk about it on the show. Describe what you found that gets you one step closer to stopping the death as your co-hosts nod and go, and then derail the conversation for 5 minutes to talk about a TikTok they saw.
Wonderful. I think maybe what happened is Bex is becoming more interested in the Golden Hour Strangler as the first pitch for the professional podcast that she wants to do, right?
Good.
And so she starts doing a little bit of research, and it turns out that like those letters that Zooey has kind of bragged about and everything like that, the postal code does not match the actual jail like forwarding system.
Let's go.
That like would be in place if, or like maybe it was like before zip codes like changed and stuff like that. And so it's the newer zip code rather than the older zip code.
Hell yeah, dude.
Smart.
I hated how in the 80s, Reagan said that mail would just trickle down.
Yeah.
Like, we'll give it to the rich people and they'll send it to everyone else, right?
Yeah.
That's a good joke.
So I think it's like, what was the thing? It was like they added like extended zip codes. It's a joke in the movie Jingle All the Way, and I can't remember exactly what it is, but they added the extended
Yes, Julia.
zip code.
Famously, they added the 5-digit zip code dash the 4
sure.
extra digits to help further separate in huge zip codes like in big cities.
Yes. And so I think this one has the 4 additional zip code, even though it shouldn't, because the letters should be dated earlier.
Yeah, dude.
Love that.
And Bex is like, that's super weird. I think maybe these were sent after, and that's odd. Huh. Weird.
So I want to add a little bit of a twist here.
Okay.
Because we're doing this specific one, and the like there was a person on the show who is lying about something.
Mhm.
How do we get Zooey out of the room every time we talk about a clue? I feel like how do we talk about this?
Can I pitch it that Bex is like, oh, your boyfriend called. He didn't tell me what he called about, so you should call him back because all he can say is yar or nar. so I didn't get much detail out of him.
Oh, Diego, he's so funny. I'm always like, do you want to go for sushi? And he's like, nar. And I'm like, do you want to go to the carnival? And he's like, nar. He's so funny. And his toilet is Australian too, so it swirls the other way. It's the Coriolis effect. And she says it with the deadest eyes you've ever seen.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
It goes the other way. It goes counterclockwise. He has a special Australian toilet that goes the other way.
That's crazy.
It's weird that Zoe continues to talk about her boyfriend's toilet for like 30 minutes every day. But, here we are.
And we're like, yeah, Coriolis effect. Sure.
Brandon, you know people where something they own is the most interesting thing about them?
Yes, but if it's the toilet, I'm very concerned about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Cool. All right, so boom, that's the game loop.
Hell yeah.
Love it. Okay,
Cool. We did it.
Okay, so we have one success right now. We are 1/8 of the way to hopefully solving this
We're
mystery.
doing it.
We're doing it. Cool. All right, next was Brampton. How does Double J Talkins kind of stumble into what he's going to get into next?
Let's find out. Should I roll first, or do I say that first?
You roll first.
Great. All right, let's see what happens. 7! Ooh.
7,
Oh.
Dread. The other players describe how your death is lurking around you, waiting and watching. I got some prompts here. What shady character do you see for a moment and then disappears? What bad omen appears during Double J Talkins' routine? Who or what can see you, but you can't see them? What seemingly innocuous thing happened to you yesterday that has a whole lot more meaning now? So me, Amanda, Julia, let's talk about what happened to Double J.
Well, can I pitch you that when Double J goes to use the bathroom and he flushes the toilet, it goes backwards for a second. And then he's like, that's weird. And then
Julia.
flushes it again and goes normal.
That's right. No notes. No notes.
Death is coming.
So scary.
Death is coming.
Death is coming for us all the time.
Is that good? Was that what we were looking
Damn,
for?
Julia.
No, I love this, but I will say that Double J Talkins is so dumb, he would not know the Coriolis effect.
Oh, of course.
But Zooey talks about it every day for 30 minutes.
And
he's
never
not paying
listens.
attention. He's on Fruity Loops making beats.
But there's definitely a part of your brain that knows, like, oh, that's not usually how that is. And then later you're like, wait, what was different about it? Like, you can't suss out what specifically is different, but your hind brain, hind, get it, toilet, it's like.
That's what I call my butt, my hind brain.
There's nothing funnier to me than you DMing Kendrick Lamar and you're on Instagram and then we see the shot of the toilet spinning the other way though. That's funnier.
I'm DMing Kendrick to congratulate him about the Super Bowl a year afterwards.
You just got around to watching the performance.
That's so funny.
It's good. It's good.
All right, so you rolled a 7, roll again.
All right, rolling again. 4, 2 2s.
Ooh,
4, that's a failure.
A failure.
Me? Fail?
We're going to put it on the group failure track. Now, here is a game mechanic that I have introduced. There's a new game mechanic. If you would like to re-roll, Brandon, and I assume you want to do it on failures, you may read an ad. Once per game, a player may do an ad read. Describe how the death gets so close to reaching your character and stop the action to throw to an ad read. Before the killer's knife comes down, a word from our sponsor, Buster, the cool vacuum. This grinds everything to a halt as the ad read extols the virtues of the e-commerce product, how easy it is to use, how cost efficient it is, etc. The ad must include a personal experience and a discount code. Someone must also time it for exactly 60 seconds. If it's not exactly 60 seconds, the company is mad at you and you don't get to re-roll.
Or it should be at least 60 seconds because the company loves it when you go to 2 minutes on a 60
No,
second.
unfortunately, it's exactly 60 seconds. Now there's a new thing where if you do 61 seconds, you also got it wrong and they're mad at you.
That's awesome.
No, that's when the, the FCC or whatever,
Yeah.
whoever's in charge of ads, they say, hey, too long.
Yeah. The internet cop says, hey, stop it.
I also love that you made up Buster, but we had a vacuum called the Dustbuster.
Yeah.
That was the brand name when I was a kid. So.
Oh,
Yeah,
of course.
same.
Well, it's Buster. It's BUSTR. Buster.
Of course.
DC bought Dustbuster and then rebranded it. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say there was twins in the Dustbuster,
Dynasty.
heir to the dynasty, heirs to the throne. And so one of them got the business, and so the other one had to make a legally distinct, different one.
Sure.
I thought you were going to say one got dusted, one got Buster.
One got dusted, and
Real.
one got busted.
Real. So I have some more prompts so we can touch on those if you end up doing the ad read. But Brandon, do you want to do the ad read?
That was great. My favorite part was the accent work. If you like that, you gotta hear the rest of Party Planning by joining the Patreon at patreon.com/jointhepartypod.